Hello and welcome everyone. So today in this video we are going to study about kingdoms, kings and early republics. Okay, so this is the fifth chapter of history, class 6 history. So we are going to start this chapter today and see, as in your history every chapter there used to be some story given, isn't it? So here we are going to understand about here Sankaran. Okay, this boy, his name is Sankaran. So about election, this is the day of election. Okay, and why he is wondering here? See, he seems to be wondering, isn't it? In this picture he seems to be wondering. So why is he wondering? So let us find out. Okay, Sankaran woke up to see his grandparents all ready to go and vote. They wanted to be the first to reach the polling booth. Why? Sankaran wanted to know were they so excited, and somewhat impatiently his father explained, we can choose our own rulers today. So their grandparents, okay, Sankaran grandparents were very happy and very excited to go and vote. And when Sankaran asked why, like wondering why you are very happy and excited, what is the big deal over there? So his grandparent, like, he was in a very hurry to go, isn't it? So hurriedly, very impatiently he replied, we can choose our rulers today, isn't it? Now we can choose our rulers. And in India also, as India is a republic country, isn't it? It is a democratic country and a republic country. That means where you have the right to choose your representative once you reach the age of 18 on the basis of the universal adult franchise, isn't it? So here in this chapter, see why this particular story has been given, see about the ruler, isn't it? So here in this chapter what we are going to see the name itself, kingdoms, kings and early republic. See, early republic. So here we are going to learn about how rajas, how kings were being chosen before. See, in the previous chapter, if you remember, we have seen that there used to be small clan, isn't it? Small clan like Bharat, Peru, isn't it? Like Jana, the Vish, these were some of the small clan they used to have, isn't it? So here, and there the one who is most impressive, the one who is most powerful, skillful worker, skillful, they used to choose that particular person as Raja. And there we have learned that Raja doesn't mean that his son again will become Raja. There again another person who will be skillful, who will be smart, who will be intelligent will be again chosen as the Raja. So that time period, okay, that was the time period around 3500 years ago. So here in this chapter we are going to study about 3000 years ago. Okay, so here this is basically a transitional period also, you can say. This is basically a transitional period where now you will see establishments of kingdoms are there. Okay, and now rajas are being chosen, and now raja's son will become rajas, and slowly there are the systems of raja used to keep armies, and their kingdom started expanding. Okay, they started expanding by doing war, and all those Jana become Janpads, isn't it? Janpads, and again that Janpads will become again Mahajanpads. So here in this chapter we are going to see basically that transitional period. Okay, see, in the previous chapter we have studied about 3500 years ago. So here there is a gap, or we are studying this chapter after a gap of 500 years, isn't it? There is a 500 years. So within this 500 there has been so many changes, isn't it? Within even 10 years also we witness so many changes are there. So here we are going to witness what changes, what transitions has been there. So here first transition that we are going to see is about choosing the leaders. Okay, choosing the leaders and how a king become a king of that particular kingdom. Okay, now they started having kingdoms from small villages, from small clans. Now they started having kingdoms. Okay, so I hope you have understood and connected as well with the previous chapter, so that it will be, if you started connecting with the previous chapter, it will be easier for you. Okay, and if you haven't watched that video, I have uploaded, it is there in the playlist of history. You do watch that video, and after that you can see this video and it will be more clearer to you. So let's start. The first topic, how some men becomes rulers. See, so how some men, because king is not like born by birth, isn't it? He at the initial phase, at the starting phase, he might also have been chosen, isn't it? He might be chosen, like he, because of his some qualities or some things or some so what are those things we are going to see here? Okay, how some man becomes ruler. So in the previous chapter what we have witnessed that the one who is skillful, the one who is smart and the one who is powerful, usually they used to choose him as the leader of their clan, and he becomes the leader and he used to lead their groups, isn't it? So here in this chapter, let us see how they are going to do. Choosing leaders or rulers by voting is something that has become common during the last 50 years ago, 50 years or so. See now what we used to do in the present day, when we used to choose our leaders by what? By doing voting, isn't it? So it becomes common. It becomes common for us. So now we know, okay, how our leaders are being chosen. We don't have a system of king and queen now, isn't it? And the representative, the one we have chosen, he served for a period of 5 years. Again after that, again another election will be there, and again another representative will be there. In case that previous representative does not, if the people does not like the previous representative, what will happen? The people have the power to choose new representatives, isn't it? So how, let us see about our past. We are studying ancient history, isn't it? So that thing is about today's world, isn't it? Today's day. So let us see about around 3000 years ago how these men becomes ruler. Okay, some men became recognized as rajas by performing big sacrifice. So one of the biggest sacrifice during that time, it was the Ashwamedha sacrifice. Okay, Ashwamedha or horse sacrifice. See here, it doesn't mean that they are going to kill the horse. Okay, it was a ritual. Okay, they are not going to kill the horse, it was the ritual. They used to let free the horse. Okay, let us see. Was one of such rituals, a horse was let loose to wander freely. Okay, and it was guarded by the Raja's men. See, they will free a horse. Okay, they will free a horse, and that horse will wander freely here and there, and he will go here and there, and that horse will be guarded by Raja's men. Means the horse will run, and behind that the Raja's guard will be there. Okay, and if the horse wandered into the kingdoms of other Rajas and they stopped it, they had to fight. See, in case if that horse entered into others kingdom and the others kingdom Raja stopped that horse, then what will happen? Then there will be war between whom? The one who have let loose the horse and the one and on the kingdom where the horse have entered. Okay, so if they allow, in case if they allow the horse to pass, it means that they accepted the Raja who wanted to perform their sacrifice was stronger than them. And if they don't stop the horse, then the particular kingdom, if they don't stop the horse, then what happened? They accept that the Raja of which the horse is, they are more powerful and stronger than them. Okay, and these Rajas were then invited to sacrifice, to the sacrifice which was performed by specially trained priests. Okay, and again who were rewarded with gifts. So when the other kingdom Rajas doesn't do anything, they accepted the horse, and that means, see, they have lost their kingdom also. Okay, that means they have accepted means they have lost their kingdom also. It means the one whose owner of the horse will now become the king of that particular area where the horse have stepped into. Okay, and there will be some ritual sacrifices being done. Okay, some pujas and yagnas will be done, and in that yagnas those Rajas were also been invited. The Raja who organized the sacrifice was recognized as being very powerful, and all those who came brought gift for him. So the owner of the horse, okay, here you can say the owner of the horse who became the powerful Raja or king, he was been recognized as very powerful, and all those who used to come to that sacrifice, to that ritual, they used to bring gift for him. And the Raja was the central figure in this ritual. So that owner of the horse who is going to perform that sacrifice, he was the central, why he was the central figure? Because he was very powerful, he was the most influential person, isn't it? He often had a special seat, a throne or a tiger skin. See, again this shows his dignity and his power, isn't it? Tiger skin, tigers is often related with power, isn't it? Because tiger is a very powerful animal, and if you are sitting on a tiger skin, that shows that how powerful you are. That means that you have hunted that tiger and you have take out his skin and you have keeping there, isn't it? Again another way, his charioteer means his driver, isn't it? His one who is driving his chariot during war, who was his companion in the battlefield and witnessed his exploits, chanted his tales of glory. His relatives, especially his wives and sons, had to perform a variety of minor rituals. So here his driver, you can say, isn't it, in today's context, his charioteer, his sarthi in Hindi, isn't it, the one who is the one who used to be there in the battlefield with him. So again he will be telling others, during war Raja have fought like this, Raja have killed this much person in one go, this that, isn't it? So like he will be chanting his tales of glory. Okay, So in that again makes him more powerful, and his relatives, especially his wives and son, also have to perform some minor rituals on that very sacrifice which Raja is going to perform. Okay, I hope you have understood. So the other Rajas who have came over there, okay, the other Rajas were simply spectators who had to sit and watch the performance of the sacrifice. Priests performed the rituals including the sprinkling of sacred water on the king. The ordinary people, that is the Vis or the Vaishya, isn't it, the Vaishyas, the group, isn't it, which we have learned about them in our previous chapter, isn't it? I have told you that it was the foundation, isn't it, from there it have originated. Also brought gifts. The people also brought gift. For whom? For the Rajas, the powerful Raja. However, some people such as those were regarded as Sudras by the priest were excluded from the ritual. See here again what we can see? We can see discrimination, isn't it? Discrimination. Discrimination. So here, see, other Rajas also came, and they have no, as they were not powerful as that of the Raja who is going to perform the sacrifice, they simply sit there. Okay, they are going to simply sit over there and they are going to witness that sacrifice or rituals which is going to be performed. And again, priests started performing the rituals by sprinkling sacred water to the king, and other ordinary peoples are also invited, and when they came they have to bring gifts. And this time, during this time, why they are bringing gift? Because during this time there was no concept of tax. Okay, tax was not there, but later on when they expanded their janpads, okay, then what happened? They started collecting tax also. Okay, the king started collecting tax to maintain his army, isn't it, and to maintain various other things. They started collecting tax, and about that also we are going to see here. Okay, see the last line, isn't it? Those who were regarded as Sudras. See how they see, that means they were some groups, isn't it, been divided during that society. Now they have started dividing the societies. In the previous chapter what we have seen, there were groups. There were priest group and the Raja group and the other people, isn't it, other people groups, and the Das and the Dasis. But here more defined group has been divided. See here, and one more thing, in the previous chapter what we have learned about the Rig Vedic, isn't it, Rig Vedic period, that is the early one. Okay, early Rig Vedic, about the Vedas, isn't it? We are learning about the Vedas. Here we are going to learn about the later Vedic period. Okay, this is about the later Vedic period that has been mentioned there, isn't it? Yajurved, Atharved, Samved. So here we are going to learn about that later Vedic period. Okay, so before proceeding this chapter, see, we are going to see how the society was been divided during that time. Okay, how the society was divided. There was a Varna system, isn't it? It was been divided through Varna system. So let us see and try to understand this concept. Okay, try to understand this concept as well. So let us see about this Varna system. See, and this Varna system, it has been believed that this was been divided by whom? This was been divided by the priest. Okay, by the priest. They have, because there are different sections of people, there were several different groups of peoples who were there in the society, isn't it? Like priests, warriors were there, farmers were there, herders, traders, craft persons, laborers, fishing folks, forest person. So, and some of them were some of the priests were very rich, and other farmers and herders were poor. So based on that they started dividing the society. Okay, and there what they did in the first place, what they have divided the into four groups. Okay, into four social categories, namely Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Sudras, isn't it? And in the first place, what they have put in the first place of Varna, that was of the Brahmin, isn't it? So this Brahmin were expected to study and teach the Vedas and perform sacrifice and receive gifts. So particularly who were included under this Brahmin? The priest, isn't it? The priests were included under the Brahmin, isn't it? And see, and the priests were expected to like study, learn and teach the Vedas to others, and also perform sacrifice, like as we have seen the Rajas, in Rajas ritual sacrifice, the priest was the one, isn't it? Especially trained priest was the one who have prepared the, who have done the ritual dance, isn't it? So here the first category was of that, or that of the Brahmin. and the second is the Kshatriyas. So under these Kshatriyas were expected to fight battles and protect people. So under these Kshatriyas, who will come? The kings, isn't it? The king will come under the Kshatriyas. The second place were of that of the rulers, isn't it? The rulers of the kingdom, and they were expected to fight battles and protect people. And the third place, this is the second place, now this is the third, this is the Vaishyas. These were expected to be farmers, herders and traders, isn't it? They were and both these and one more thing, okay, both these Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, all of them could perform sacrifice and rituals and everything, okay. But the last group, that is the Sudras, okay, these Sudras who had to serve the other three groups, okay, who was expected to serve the other three groups, they were been they could not perform any kind of rituals also, okay. On not only Sudras, including women, okay, women were also not allowed to perform any rituals or any sacrifice, okay. So from that, what we can see discrimination was there, isn't it? See here in this line also, they were excluded from many rituals. Sudras were excluded from many rituals, so discrimination was there, okay. And also later what happened, they started manipulating all these things, and as Brahmin, they wanted to make their dominance in the society. They started categorizing these into caste system, isn't it? And that again, the Sudras were further been told as untouchables, polluting, isn't it? And see, this division at first it was done on the base of their work which they used to do, isn't it? Like here the Sudras basically will be engaged in which type of work? They will be engaged in basically cleaning, isn't it? Cleaning and doing other things which the other groups were not doing, because the king will be busy protecting and ruling, isn't it? The Vaishyas will be busy trading, farmers and herders and all, and priest will be busy doing rituals and teaching. So the other groups, the cleaning and all, performing other things performing burials and cremations also, it was all done by the Sudras. So that is why they have been considered as they were polluting people, and started this these Sudras started being recognized as the untouchables. From there discrimination happens in this society, okay. And this was not initially, this was the initial category or the division which was been done, but the later on with time, isn't it, as time within time, what happened, the Sudras were been recognized as untouchables. And see, at this time it was not by birth, okay, this was not through birth, okay. But later on what happened, they started categorizing this system into by birth. If you are born Sudra, you will die Sudra, isn't it? That concept started, and that caste system started. That caste system become very rigid. You cannot change your caste, isn't it? Even if you are even if you have the capabilities to become a ruler, you are not able to do that, because if you are born in a Sudra family. So all those things brought discrimination and so many other things, about which we will learn more in your higher classes, okay. So what you have to understand here you have to understand that this was the beginning, okay. This was the beginning, this was the initial period where the society was being divided into 4 categories based on their work initially. But later on, slowly they started manipulating everything, especially this Brahmin class, okay. They wanted to dominate, so they remain as higher in this hierarchy, okay. And the Kshatriyas, and this was not been like when this initially it was been divided, it was many people did not accept this system of Varna system, okay. Why? Because some king, they used to think that they are superior to the priest, isn't it? They should be on the first group. Other felt that birth could not be a basis for deciding which Varna people belong to which, isn't it? And besides, some people felt that there should be no difference among the people, everyone are equal, especially based on occupation. See, this is been divided on the basis of occupation, isn't it? And other felt that everyone should be able to perform rituals, because here most of the especially the Sudras and the women were being excluded from performing rituals. So this was basically prevailed, okay. This basically prevailed in the northwestern part of India, okay. And northeast part of India, these social differences, the economic difference was, this Varna system was not practiced very sharply as it was practiced in the northwestern part of India. So this is how the society was basically divided initially, okay. And slowly it become rigid, okay. It become rigid, and after the India's independence, in the constitution, now everyone is being considered equal, isn't it? So everyone is being considered equal, and one who found practicing untouchability and all, will be punished. So in that way these things are this caste system, everything, this Indian constitution, Indian leaders, they try to figure it out. Okay, they try to figure it out how we can make everyone as equal. Okay, so this was the initial phase. Okay, so from here this was the foundation, you can say this was the foundation of this society, which was been divided into 4 categories. So what were they? Brahmin, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Sudras. So I hope it is clear. So next let us see about the Janpads. Okay, see about Jana we have studied in our previous chapter, isn't it? Small group, isn't it? Small group of clans. They used to have, there used to be war for land, there used to be war for water, there used to be war for horse, isn't it? Small war used to be happen, war used to be like that. But now those things will now become more in bigger scenario. Okay, the Raja who performed these big sacrifice, these Ashwamedha sacrifice, especially the horse sacrifice, okay, were now recognized as being Rajas of Janpads rather than Janas. Okay, the word Janpads literally means the land where the Jana set its foot and settled down. Jana means people. Okay, the clan. So that group of people, okay, that group of people, that group of clan, that means wherever they step their foot, that become their Jana. And when these with this horse sacrifice, Ashwamedha sacrifice, what the land where the horse have landed, that land also become of that Raja, isn't it? So that become bigger. So that is why Janpads. Okay, some important Janpads are shown on map 4, we will see. Okay, and before that, see, this type of grey ware was plates and bowls were found during that time. Okay, let us see about it. Painted grey wares. Okay, plates and bowls are the most common vessels found made out of painted grey. These are extremely fine to touch with a nice smooth surface. Perhaps these were used on special occasion for important peoples and to serve special food. So such type of clays the archaeologists have excavated a number of when they were excavating a number of settlement and all, they have excavated such plates also, okay, which were very fine, okay, which were very fine to touch and very nice and smooth, with very nice and smooth surface. Like for example, in today's day also, whenever we have a very nice crockery set or dinner set, we used to keep that and we used to say, okay, whenever guests arrive, we used to take it out, isn't it? So just like that, this plate also they might have used like that, okay, so on some special occasion to serve special people. So archaeologists have excavated a number of settlement in these Janpads, such as Purana Kila in Delhi, okay, Purana Kila in Delhi, Hastinapur near Meerut, and Atrangjira near Eta. The last two are in this Uttar Pradesh. They found that people lived in herds, kept cattle as well as other animals. They also grew a variety of crops: rice, wheat, barley, pulses, sugarcane, sesame and mustard. See, before what we have witnessed in our previous chapter, we don't find sugarcane, isn't it? Now the archaeologists have also found sugarcane as well. Okay, so these Janpads were been excavated, okay, in Hastinapur, that is Purana Kila in Delhi, especially forts. Okay, these Janpads were fortified. Okay, the king used to build a wall. Okay, that is, they used to fortify that area. Why they used to fortify their area? In order to protect their people, because there used to be frequently war at that time, isn't it? So in order to protect their people, they used to make forts, big forts. Okay, so one of those is this Purana Kila. So let us see in this map. Okay, here the map is given, it will be clear to you. See, especially in this area, see Hastinapur. Okay, and here we are going to study about Magad also, it was Mahajanpad. All right. So basically in this area, in this northwestern part of India, we will see this. In the south you will not see such thing, isn't it? Such sites are not been recovered, not excavated, because still what we have learned, they are still living in the Stone Age, that is the Megalithic period. No literary source was been found, isn't it? But here we started finding literary source, that is the Vedic source, and through that we came to know, okay, such things were there, isn't it? Like Avanti is also a Mahajanpad. Okay, so here okay, let us continue. Janpads, they made ardent pots. Some of these were grey in colors, as we have seen in the picture, others were red. One special type of pottery found at these sites is known as painted grey ware. As it is obvious from the name, these grey pot had painted designs, usually simple lines and geometric patterns. See, the one we have just studied about, this grey ware. Okay, so in these janpats, these grey pots were been found, okay, which was painted grey in color and which texture was very smooth and fine texture, isn't it? So this was been excavated from this site, this janpats, okay, especially from Hastinapur, Purana Delhi, Purana Kila in Delhi, okay, Meerut. So these were some of the places, okay. So next, see, that was about the janpats, okay. Now let us see Mahajanpats. So now these janpats again started becoming more and more, they started expanding their area, expanding their empire, okay. So when they expand their empire, what happens? They become Mahajanpats, okay. See, from the name also we can say, isn't it, Maha, big, more bigger. So about 2500, so not 2500 years ago, some janpats became more important than others. See, again, transitional period of 500 you can see, isn't it? Transitional period of 500 came, because here about janpats what we have read, it is around 3000 years ago, okay. So now here again 2500 years, that means again transition of, within the transition of 500 years, again what we can see, now we can witness Mahajanpats, and were known as Mahajanpadas. Some of these are shown in map 4. Most Mahajanpads had a capital city. See, this was the difference here, okay. In Janpads you will not find any capital city, but here you will find capital city. In Mahajanpads you will have a capital city, like for example we have a capital of every country, isn't it? For our country India, we have a Delhi, from where everything is been governed, isn't it? Central government used to govern everything. So just like that, in Mahajanpads also that concept came, okay, and they have a capital city. And many of these were fortified. It was fortified, okay. It was all big walls were being built and it was fortified. This means that huge walls of wood, bricks or stone were built around them. And see, suppose this is their Mahajanpads, okay, Mahajanpadas. Here in and around they will build big walls, okay, big walls, and they will fortified. Why? In order to protect themselves, okay. See, forts were probably built because people were afraid of attack from other kings, isn't it? Because at that time what happens, there used to be so many attacks, isn't it? So many attacks used to be there. So in order to protect themselves, they used to make this fort, okay. This was one of the reason. Other reason, let us see. See, here one such fort is been shown, protection. It also likely that some rulers wanted to show how rich and powerful they were by building a really large, tall and impressive wall around their cities. So another reason is that, first reason is that in order to protect themselves from other, isn't it? So in case of war and anything. And another reason is that some ruler want to showcase how rich and powerful they are. So they used to build big and very large impressive wall around their cities, so they can make their impression, isn't it? So they can make the impression and they can show the world that they are very much powerful and you don't have any guts to attack our place, okay. Also in this way, the land and the people living inside the fortified area could be controlled more easily by the king. And another reason, king thought that the people who are living inside the fortified, in case we have built a wall, then it will be more easier for the king to rule the people, isn't it? So more easier and more easily they can check out on the people. So that was also another reason. And building such huge walls requires a great deal of planning. Thousands if not lakhs of bricks, stones had to be prepared. So this in turn meant enormous labors provided possibly by thousands of men, women and children, and resources had to be found for all of this. And in order to make these big walls, it is not that easy, isn't it? You need thousands and lakhs of stones and bricks, and moreover the most important thing, at that time they don't have any machines or anything, isn't it? Everything used to be done by the labor, by hand. So they need thousands of labor as well, including men, women and children. So in that way the Raja used to control, okay, they used to control. So here one such fortification wall is been shown, which is there in Kusambi, okay. This is a picture of remains of wall made of brick found near present day Allahabad, Uttar Pradesh, okay. A part of it was probably built around 2500 years ago. So these remains are been found where? In Allahabad, okay, fortification wall at Kusambi. And the new rajas now, okay, now what happens? See, as they have maintained more bigger army, more bigger kingdom, so now what happened? They started maintaining armies. Okay, soldiers were paid regular salaries and maintained by the king throughout the year. Some payments were probably made using punch mark coin. You will see more about this in detail in your next chapter and on your upcoming chapters. Okay, and so what happens? Salary were been, now the armies were been given salaries, regular salaries, and everything was been maintained by the king. But in order to make all this maintenance and everything, the king also need resource, isn't it? So from where does all those resource will come? So what happened now? The system, now before there was a gift system, isn't it? So only that gift were not enough for the king, okay, to maintain his army, his big army, to maintain, protect his people during war, isn't it? So the king will be needing huge amount of resource to make such a big fortification. So now what happened? The system of tax was introduced. Okay, not only gift, now system of tax was also introduced. So now let us see what type of tax they have. Okay, as the rulers of Mahajanpads were building huge forts, maintaining big armies, they need more resources and they needed officials to collect this. So instead of depending on occasional gifts brought by the people, as in the case of Rajas of the Janpads, they started collecting regular tax. So now what happened? They started collecting regular tax. Okay, so now there was tax on crops. Okay, and this was because most people were farmers. This was the most important tax, because most of the people were what? Were farmers, isn't it? They were farmers, and usually the tax was fixed of 1/6. Okay, of means one portion you have to give to the king. Okay, what was produced from your farming. Okay, that means you have to give your share. 1% should be of the 6. One out of 6, 1% you have to give to the king. Okay, next is tax on craft person. Okay, tax were being collected from the craft, like they might be on the form of labor. Okay, or for example a weaver or smith, they have to work for a day every month for the king. So in that form they started collecting tax. And herders paid tax as animal and animal produced. Okay, herders were being given tax in the form of by they used to have animals, isn't it? They used to look after animals, so they will be providing milk or egg or anything, okay, whatever they have produced to the king, a share of their. Okay, and next is tax on goods through trade. So through trading also, the one who you have done trading, they have to provide their goods, whatever they are selling, they have to provide that goods to the king as well for free. Okay, so this was their kind of tax. And last is about the hunters and gatherers have to provide forest produce to the rajas. Like hunter and gatherers, they used to collect so many fruits which are been available in the forest, isn't it? Like amla, jam, bear, all these things they have to give to the king. Their share, some portion of their share they have to give to the king. So in this form they started collecting the taxes. Okay, and the most important tax here was of the crop, because most of the people were farmer and they have to give 1 share out of 6 to the king. Okay, so that the king could run and maintain their armies, to like maintaining their kingdom, they need more resources, isn't it? So to make all those things possible, this tax system was been introduced. So next, let us see next topic. There was some changes in agriculture also. Now let us see what are the changes that happened in the agricultural sector. There were 2 major changes in agriculture around this time. One was growing use of iron plowshare. This meant that heavy clayed soil could be turned over the better with a wooden plowshare. So now there was some development. Okay, within time there used to be development, isn't it? So that during that time what happened? Now they started using iron plowshare. So it made them easier to grind the heavy and clayed soil, okay, and which make the soil more fertile so that more grain could be produced. And second, people began transplanting. Okay, they started transplanting paddy. This meant that instead of scattering seeds on the ground from which plant would sprout, sapling were used and then planted in the field. This led to increased production as many more plants survived. So instead of just scattering seeds, before they used to just scattered seed, now what they have? Now they started doing planting, okay, transplanting paddy. So more this, and they also witnessed that more more production was been there because of this transplanting. Okay, see, but these, in order to do this transplanting, okay, they required huge amount of like labor also. Okay, it was like very hard working. Okay, it was very hard work. So the farmers who were usually rich, they used to have slaves, isn't it? Remember, you have das and dasis, isn't it? They have das and dasi system, slave system was there. So the slaves, we used to do work for this, especially the slaves were those landless agriculturists, okay, or the laborers. So they used to work for the the rich farmers, and they used to do all this, perform all this work. Okay, so that was some of the changes that was in the agricultural sector. So now here we are going to study about two such Mahajanpads, that is, one is Magad, okay, Magad, and another is Vaji. So let us begin with Magad. Okay, see, Magad is, it is very famous, isn't it? I hope you have also heard about it. So let us see Magad. See, you find see, Magad, it is in Bihar. Okay, it is in Bihar. So Magad became the most important Mahajanpads in about 200 years. So many rivers such as the Ganga and the Son flow through Magad. So here in this area, river Ganga and Son is the tributary of river Ganga. Okay, so this was important for transport, water supplies, making the land fertile. See, whenever you are settling near water, what happens? Near rivers, your land will be fertile and more produce will be there, isn't it? So that is why basically people used to settle near a river sides. So Magad was one such Mahajanpads which became very powerful as well. Okay, they expanded their power almost throughout India. Okay, and I hope you have heard Chanakya also, and Chanakya was the one who have made the kings of the Magad. It has been believed that he is the one who have made the kings of the Magads, isn't it? So parts of Magads were forested. Elephants which lived in the forest could be captured and trained for the army. Forest also provided wood for building houses, carts, and chariots. Besides, there were iron ore mines in the region that could be tapped to make strong tools and weapons. So every required thing was there present in this Magad area. Okay, like forest, elephants were there and they were being trained. Okay, they were being trained for the army, and forest was there which provided wood for building houses, carts, and chariots, isn't it? And apart from that, there were iron ore mines which were being used to make more stronger tools and weapons during that time. And Magad have two very powerful rulers. One was Bimbisara and another is Ajatasattu, who used all possible means to conquer other Janpads. So there used to be war between Janpads. There were so many Janpads and Mahajanpads. Okay, so among them, Mahajanpads, what they used to do, they used to attack the smaller Janpads, and they used to make those area under them, and in that way they used to expand their territory. So Mahapadmananda, okay, Mahapadmanand was another important ruler. He extended his control up to northwest part of the subcontinent. So and Rajagriha, the present day Rajgir in Bihar, was the capital of Magad for several years. So before this, Rajagriha, that is Rajgir present, it was the capital of Magad for several years, but later on it was been changed, it was been shifted to Patliputra, present day where? Present day Patna. So this was the capital of Magad. See, in Mahajanpad, what we have seen, there used to be a capital, isn't it? So Patliputra, it was the capital of Magad. And more than 2300 years ago, now we have reached 23, isn't it? A ruler named Alexander, who lived in Macedonia in Europe, wanted to become a world conqueror. Of course, he did not conquer the world, but did conquer parts of Egypt and West Asia. Came to the Indian subcontinent as well, okay, reaching up to the bank of the Bias, that is in the northwestern part, isn't it? See, suppose this is our India, let us suppose. So in this part, the Bias river is here, isn't it? It is the tributary of Indus river. So this Macedonia, as he was coming out to conquer world, of course he was not able to conquer, but he conquered parts of Egypt and West Asia in this part, okay, and he came to Indian subcontinent, reaching up to Bias river. And what happened? when he wanted to march further eastward, see, when he marched further eastward, what happened? He will enter into the subcontinent India, isn't it? And as Magad was very powerful, they were afraid. Okay, his soldier refused. They were scared, as they have heard that these rulers of these Magads were very powerful. Okay, heard that the rulers of India had a vast army of foot soldiers, chariots and elephants. So because of that, this Alexander, okay, this Alexander, he was not able to attack and captured into the India, okay, in the northwestern part of India, because of the huge army. And see, whenever a area is very huge, whenever a Janpat is very huge, Mahajanpat is very huge, often other kingdoms also used to tell about them, isn't it? And they are afraid of attacking that very area. So that is why here the soldiers of Alexander's were also afraid to attack this area of Magad, and they were not, and they they refused to attack, and they were not able to conquer this Magad. So that was about the Magad. So now let us see next about the Vaji. So we have completed about Magad. So now let us see about Vaji. Okay. So this Magad and Vaji, these are some examples of some huge Mahajanpads which were excavated during that, which were there at that time, and which was been excavated. The sites were been excavated by archaeologists. Okay, and it was written in the later Vedic books as well. So we came to know so many things about them. Okay. So Vaji, let us see. While Magad became a powerful kingdom, Vaji with its capital at Vaisali, which is also again in Bihar. Okay, so those area were all in Bihar. Okay, was under a different form of government known as Gana or Sangha. So here again you will find different type of government. In Mahajanpat, that is in Magad, the king, only there used to be one powerful king, isn't it? Especially who have sacrificed done huge sacrifice, and who have conquered the huge territory. But here in this Vaji, this was also a Mahajanpat, but there you will find different type of government was there. Okay, and they were known as Gana or Sangha. Sangha, it is basically, it is known as an organization. Okay, so in a Gana or Sangha, there were not one but many rulers, and each one was known as Raja. See, now here there were multiple rulers. Okay, here there were multiple rulers, unlike in Magad there was only one ruler, isn't it? That is first initially Bimbisara and Ajatsattu, isn't it? After that, who became Mahapadman Nanda. But here there were multiple rulers. There might be more than 1,000 in terms of thousands also. Okay, and these Rajas performed rituals together. They also met in assemblies and decided what had to be done and how, through discussion and debate. For example, if they were attacked by an enemy, they met to discuss what should be done to meet the threat. And however, women, dasas and kamakaras, okay, kamkaras, these are the laborers, all right, could not participate in this assembly. Here also, say again, discrimination was there for the women. Okay, again we can see discrimination was there. And in this what was the difference here? Here there were not only one rulers, they were different rulers. Okay, they were different rulers, and whenever they were been in some problem, they used to meet in assembly, and they used to decide what had to be done, isn't it, and how had to be done. And in example, if they want to attack any other, then they used to discuss fully about it. Okay, but however, what happened? Again, discrimination. Women, das, these are the slaves, isn't it, slaves,